And what I would like to say is that we will talk about MTPL and the potential membership in a green card system, but we shared our contribution to this conference in this way, that we should not repeat what the previous speaker said. So it's our agreement in this matter. So if I will not cover something as Devi, that's the next one should cover. And finally, we will have the panel discussion, and you are free to raise your questions. Some history. But before, I would like to warn you, my presentation will be very provocative. I don't want to say that you are very well prepared, or you are not prepared, or we know everything. And I would like to raise the question, do you really need the obligatory compulsory motor third-party liability? Do you really want to join the green card system? Do you think about the potential danger and negative consequences of such decision? This is the main question, should be in the first line of such discussion in this matter. And all the stakeholders, they should participate in this discussion, because it's necessary to name not only the challenges, not only what we can win, but especially what we can lose. And what to say, the decision in this matter of such MTPL will be introduced or not, this is the political decision, and not in the sense that the members of parliament will raise their hands. No, this will have important consequences for all the population of your country, and will have the spectacular financial consequences in both directions. The first is necessary to pay, and then maybe you will receive the compensation. Depends, of course. Some history, because you know that such insurance was introduced in the majority European countries many years ago. But I have the question to you. Do you know where and when was the first car accident noted in the history? Do you know it? Somebody has an idea? This was in 18th century. This was in France, and this was steamed vehicle. It was, the steam was, how to say, the power. And unfortunately, during the first ride, it was the collision with the wall of the next building. So, of course, nobody those days thought about the potential consequences of insurance cover. We don't know even if that's the owner of this, let's say, car paid any compensation to the owner of this property. But at least this is noted as the first car accident at all. But what happened later on, of course, we know that if we want to have motor third-party liability, compulsory or not, we need to have the cars on the streets. And of course, the introduction of the MTPL was a consequence of the increased number of the cars on the streets. And this is not a surprise, but maybe for many people, they think they are better than the others. This is, I'm speaking about some empires in the past, that the Nordic colleagues, they introduced the motor third-party liability insurance because they discovered from scratch they need it. They need it. Why we need it, I would like to tell you or ask you in few moments. But as you see on the screen, that's, we could say that the most important development on the field of the motor third-party liability was exactly in the Nordic countries. It means Sweden, Norway, and Denmark those days. What we can add, till now we profit from this initiative from the beginning of 20th century. Even the idea of the green card system based on a pool, it was settled by these Nordic countries before the Second World War. And it's very important to remember that there is not because of any wonder, the people worked more than 100 years to develop what we are using just now. And the principles of such responsibility and organization of the market is more or less the same. What is maybe a surprise for all of us, because especially everybody of us wants to think, I prepared something. No, we base only of those experiences they were exactly in the past. But for whom is dedicated the motor third-party liability? Do you have any ideas? What is in the first line, what is coming to our head? No, the victim of the accident, of course, yes? But there are two parts of this idea. Not only the victim. In the first line is the owner of such vehicle. And during the majority of discussions, we are forgetting about it, that in fact, the obligatory motor third-party liability was introduced to protect both parts of the potential conflict of the roads. Because if not, and what was the origin idea of our Scandinavian colleagues, who will pay the compensation to the victim? Of course, those days, beginning of 20th century, only the people, they were well situated, they could manage to buy a car. But the accidents, they happened from the beginning. And of course, it was not so easy to receive the compensation because of lack of the legal provisions, because of the need to go to the court and so on. And in the reality, the poor people never received the compensation because they were in a weaker position in front of the rich. And we are living in the democratic countries, and we want to have the same rights and obligations. We want to have the obligations, because if we don't want to have the obligation, we should forget about the compulsory insurance at all, not only the motor. So, for whom we need more? For the people, they want to invest in insurance, of course, because there is not a sin to earn the money from insurance. This is a natural consequence. If somebody is doing the shoes, has the same right to earn the money from this business as the shareholders of the insurance business. And in many cases, they are the phrases we can find in the media, or they are used by the politicians. The insurers, they are bad because they want to earn money from us. Yes, but this is normal business. The only question is, the only precondition is to do it on a fair basis. Fair basis, and we should forget to cheat the population, especially that, as I have said before, introducing of the MTPL, this is a political risk with the very severe consequences for not only for the politicians, but especially for the population. So the basic rules I mentioned on the screen, and I think it's not necessary to talk about it, especially regarding the last one. I will not talk nothing, because Tanya, our speaker after coffee break, will share her experience and her thoughts regarding control or not to control the tariffs. So, as you see, we shared the topics for this part of our meeting, but it's very important to have a clear message to the population and clear rules. Everybody is equal. Everybody is equal. And every victim has the equal rights to receive the compensation, and everybody who is the owner of the car, without any exemptions, must be insured. If not, there must be severe consequences. And what do you need more? This is the clear system of registration and clear database of the insured vehicles. You talked, Devi, about the insurance guarantee fund. I don't know how will be the name in your country, but we know what is on. And this is the security body. This is not the body to solve all the problems, as you have mentioned. This is the body should give the support to the market if the market will be in troubles. This is the body should give the support to the victims if somebody was not insured. And we had recently the debate on an EU level regarding the potential changes regarding the activity of the guarantee funds. We are talking about the insurance guarantee scheme and so on and so on. But at least regarding the motor third-party liability, the markets, they organize by itself. And this is very positive because this is the sign that the markets are able to do it. And the states are interested to support the markets to organize it because they know if the markets will be well organized, if the market will finance the insurance guarantee funds, the state will have less problems in the consequence. And what is very important when we are talking about construction of the market, and you see on the first position, this is the supervisory body. We need to be supervised. Even we are not interested, even we don't want, because in many cases we know better than the supervisors how to do the business. No, we need somebody who is looking on our hands and especially figures in the books and is able to react in a proper way. This is very important, proper way. So you see on the screen what I mean under the expression proper way. And you know, maybe you are surprised, but the first and the most important is to be professional. Because if not, we should forget about any controlling system. We need it. We need experienced people. They are able not only to read the books and the figures and check the documents, they need to understand how the insurance works and exactly what is an insurance. And what is the insurance? Who knows? This is the promise, nothing more. This is the promise. This is unique business offering nothing except the promises. If the potential clients will not believe in our promises, we will never sell anything. So, it's also very important to take the measures, not to wait, not to be under pressure, not to listen to the advisor. They suggest you different reasons to wait. No, the measures must be used on the proper way and the proper measures. It's not necessary immediately to close the company, but it's necessary to give the sign we are watching, we are observing, we know what we are doing. And in all my life, even this is not popular, even on my market, I'm repeating and repeating, we need professional supervisory authorities. But, as you see on the screen, this must be independent, because should use exactly the same rules in front of all stakeholders, all. So, the practical support is extremely important, And I was teach at the beginning of my professional career that controlling, this is something positive, because the controller is not coming to find the reason to punish you. The controller should give you the suggestion how to improve or to confirm you are working on a proper way. And I think this is possible only at this moment. And I'm coming back, that's the level of the controllers will be on a very high level. If not, you will have on the market what you see on the screen. And finally, you could, this is they are the names of the insurance companies over the Europe. Only from the last years they went bankrupt. It's a surprise, you know. On a screen you see not only that's the insurance companies from the small countries, or let's say, as we suppose, financially weak countries. Look, Netherlands, France, Gibraltar, in fact, Great Britain. So you see that the bankruptcy could happen everywhere. How many companies was saved only because of the intervention of the authorities? This is another story. They are the symptomatic, this is the symptomatic information that the bankruptcy could happen everywhere, but has always the same consequences. The consequences to the insurance industry, because you will lose the clients because they don't trust anymore in your promises. The second, you need to find money to finance the liabilities of the bankrupt company via the guarantee fund or bureau. How you organize it, this is another story. Please remember about it. Green card system. Do you really need to introduce, to join this strange organization operating in 48 countries? Do you want to have more problems than you have now? I have really doubts if you need it. Really. But if you want, you should remember this is the obligation much bigger than against the victims in your own country. Because this is the responsibility in a front of 48 countries. And not only insurance markets, because please remember, the Council of Bureau, the green card system based on the independence. This is independent organization, non-political and non-profit. There is no influence of any politicians on a European level or United Nations level directly on the activity of this organization. And this is also one of the preconditions of the activity on the market. This must be independent organization. It will represent the market in front of the Council of Bureau. This is very important to remember. But why we need it? As you see on the screen, there are different systems in the world, not only green card system. I will not comment how the other organisms they operate, positive or not, but at least we could say that the green card system, it's a master for them because they want to learn exactly from us. And repeatedly they ask for support. And maybe this is the surprise for many people that 4 years after the biggest war we had on our worldwide, there was so big need that the green card system was founded in 1949. And partly I can answer you that exactly the consequences of the war, they stimulated to settle the rules of the green card system. Because the migration of the people, because of the need of transport of the goods, because the increase of production of the vehicles was so big that it was necessary to harmonize the possibility to cross the borders. And also secure the rights of the potential victims. But it's necessary to remember about the aims. There are two: road facilitation, cross-border road facilitation, and security for the victims. And why we need it, you see on the screen, that we are talking about the big figures. We are talking about the millions of the vehicles, millions of the citizens of Europe, not only of Europe, because outside of Europe we have also Morocco, Tunisia, Israel, Iran, as you know. And in fact, we are glad that there are new markets they want to join our organization. But please remember, they are the equal rules for everybody. It doesn't matter if it's big or small. And there is no mercy. There is no mercy in this matter. So this is the screen. I use it from the website of Council of Bureau. Everybody can have access. And I talked how it's organized. And what is very important, our organization is a unique facilitator within this all membership. Secondly, this is the biggest independent worldwide insurance organization. There is no bigger. And so we are not proud we are big. We are very proud we are operating on a sufficient level, and we are very happy about it. And closing slowly my presentation, please remember, this is very big warning. MTPL, this is the long tail business. I don't know how long is the prescription period in Georgia nowadays, but within the green card system, the prescription period is from 1 year to 30 years. And you must remember that at least in many cases, you can't close your books regarding the claim for this period. As you see on the screen, this is the example from our Polish Motor Insurance Bureau. We have still open claims from 1976. And at least we will not close them in the next 20 years. This is a long tail business. The responsibility is very big, and it's necessary to remember that we all, to collect enough money to finance the claims from the past. And year and year, we see that the level of the compensation to the victims is higher and higher, and we must be prepared. And please remember that the final payer in any cases is always the insured person. Doesn't matter if the other were insured or not. Doesn't matter if somebody disappeared from the place of the accident or not. Doesn't matter if there is a proper way of the proper organization of the central register of the cars or central register of the issued policies. Doesn't matter if the insurance company went bankrupt or not. Doesn't matter if the state makes mistakes or not, is working on a proper or not way. The final payer is always the insured person. And the insured people could be very angry. They could be very aggressive at the end. And if you want to earn money, you need to think about it. As long as you will not satisfy the clients, it means the insured people and the victims, you will have a real problems to earn any money. And as you see on the screen, thank you very much for